Boom. What's going down? Look who's in first. Big Feist. With the famous line, righto. Big Feist texts me 500 times a day, and 95% of the time, this is what he's texts. Righto. His other favorite thing to say is yeah. Yeah and righto. Hey, we're back. Another Moto Monday going down here. Hanging out. Let's do it, man. Let's see who's up in here. We got Anthony P. We got Mixed Tips. What up? Mixed Tips. We got Kobe. Am I saying that right? Big Bird. What up, Big Bird? Brian. What up? Miner 84. Danny B. What up? Swam is back. What up, Swam? It's been a minute. I hope I'm saying that right. I know we met at the track and you corrected me on how to say your last name. So I hope I got that right. We got Chris, Liam, Jacob. What up? And why is Big Feist all of a sudden changing his name to Ronnie Faisst Sr.? What is this? The first one said Big Feist. Look, he switched it on. I could have swore I said Big Feist. Now it's Ronnie Faisst Sr. Well, Senior's up in the spot, switching up the name with us. We got Kobe here. What up? Late working on the fireplace. Yeah, I know, I'm a little late. No, I was. Man, I've been on that fireplace for a minute. I'm glad I'm done. I'm not completely done because I still got to paint the thing, but I'm glad I'm pretty much done because that was my first time I did a fireplace. So I worked on a little on the slow side because I was trying to do it correctly. So we got Warner just jumped in here. There he is. What up? So yeah, it took me a little bit longer than probably a professional, but hey, we have three fireplaces in this house, but the first one that's down in the living room, I paid someone to do that, and then I watched them do it, and I'm like, this looks simple. Like, why am I paying this guy? And in my opinion, it was a decent job. wasn't horrible, but I thought it wasn't the greatest either. So I decided I'm gonna give it a shot. And in my opinion, I think I did a better job than the dude I paid to do my other one. So hey. There you go. But hey, I'm going to give Big Feist a shout out. I learned everything, all my little side job trade things I've learned by Big Feist. Big Feist comes from that generation. The generation of Big Feist's generation, they know they're handymans. They don't hire people. They do everything themselves. That's the way it was in the old days. And my dad was like that. He built all his homes. He didn't hire nobody. If something needed to be done, he did it. So I grew up watching him have all these skills and trades, and I just learned from him. I learned by watching, and then eventually, I got old enough to start taking a stab at the jobs myself. And back in California before we moved here, I grabbed a couple. I mean, I've never bought a new home in my life. I've always bought homes that needed work. But guess what? That's how that's how it works in real estate. Buy it low, buy a house that needs work, rehab it, and then sell that bad boy high. And I've done that through the years and made money. And Big Feist helped me on all my houses. We rehabbed all my personal homes. Me and Big Feist did my first one, came out, did the tile floor with me, came out for my second home, helped me paint it, did all the stuff. And then I actually flipped a couple homes before I moved to Kansas in California. And I was the type of investor who wanted to I didn't do all the work, but I did a lot of the work just because I was trying to make more money. So it helps. And the same thing on my rental. I got a rental out here. We did a lot of the work ourselves. And in this personal house that I live in, I did a lot of stuff here. Hired out some stuff, but I enjoy doing it. I'm a busybody, so when I got a little job in front of me, it keeps me busy and I enjoy it. So hey, we're wrapping it up. Who the heck's calling me? It's probably Mel. Watch. Nope. She was gonna check on it. I don't know who this is. 912 Georgia. Well, decline. But anyway, so this house is pretty much done for the most part. We've rehabbed everything. The only thing we haven't did on this house is the master bath, but we might be selling sooner or later. I don't know. We're trying to figure out what's next, so we'll see. But stoked to be wrapping up that job so I can get back to doing more things that I enjoy, like riding dirt bikes. that sucked up a little extra time than I thought. But hey, we got a big week ahead of us. Did a little post today. Let me see. Let's get it up here for you guys. A little post today. And sorry for the last minute, but check it out. May 1st, we're doing a class at Adrenaline. So this will be my first class at Adrenaline Motocross Park. It's in Adrian, Missouri. And got in touch with the the track owner, super cool, and we were trying to work out a date, seeing when it worked. Obviously, we had, yeah, but there's nothing I can do. What do you want me to do? I'll turn off my Wi-Fi. Mel's saying we're freezing up.
Did you shut all the things down?
Yeah, I think we're all shut off. I just shut my phone down. But anyway, let me just turn it off because I don't want you guys getting stalled out. But anyway, got in touch with the track owner, and we were trying to work out what dates. She had a couple, she has events coming up. But anyway, the only thing we really had available was like this weekend. And I don't like to drop it on people the week before the class. I like to give people a little bit of time to make some plans. But it was like the only one. I was looking at the clear weather, and I almost didn't do it. I was like, you know what? Because my buddy Maddox, little shout out to Maddox. My buddy, he's broke his femur yesterday. He got surgery today. We almost skipped out on you guys and went to the hospital to see Maddox tonight, but they won't let us. They said COVID, family only, so you can't come. So we were like, all right, we're doing Moto Monday. But anyway, Maddox was supposed to be in the class. I had another guy that missed last week's because we had to move last 2 weeks ago, we had to move that class because of the rain. So he's from Nebraska. He was supposed to be in it. And both of those, one got hurt. One's like, hey, I got to go to wrestling tournament. So they pulled out. So I'm thinking like, man, should I drop it with this short notice and go for it? And I'm like, you know what? This is what I've been learning in the Midwest. When you see clear weather, we got clear weather this weekend. So when it's clear, I'm like, I better take advantage of it. Because my fear was if I didn't do it this weekend, and the next weekend she had available was May 30th. And I'm like, okay, if I hold it to May 30th, watch it rain on May 30th. Then I miss out on my May class. So we're going for it. So shout out to Brian and Jacob, both signed up. They were at last month's class. So thank you guys for coming back. Super stoked. But adrenaline is sweet. So if you're in the area and you're thinking about maybe coming out to a class, come out, man. We're doing it. We're going to be out there for 5 hours, semi-private. We got 2 spots available right now. We got 3 people signed up as of today. So we got 2 left, and it'll be this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., 5 hours out at Adrenaline Motocross Park. So going to be fun, dude. And here's the deal. If anyone was at the last race that they raced there and it was muddy and then it got super gnarly and rutted, they have not prepped it since. And she hit me. She's like, what do you want me to do to the track? I said, nothing. Leave it ruddy. Leave it gnarly. Don't touch that track. And she sent me photos. It looks beat up. But that's how we want it. We want to train on the gnarly stuff. So will be some good practice to be out there ripping some ruts and getting after it. But anyway, I know I mentioned Maddox, but hey, if you guys keep him in your prayers, I think it's the first big crash for Maddox. He's dude, just a really good family. The wrestler family, Maddox has been to almost all my classes. And his dad actually lets me use his private track to do classes, and I've been doing some one-on-one stuff there. So just shout out to the family and to Maddox, and we're praying for you. Hope you heal up soon. And I'm going to come see you this week. I couldn't come see you at the hospital, but I'm going to swing by the pad and say what up. I believe this is his first injury, and first injury, he breaks his femur. So straight to the gnarly one. But he's young. He's 14, 15-year-old kid, and he's athletic, so he'll be back in no time. I know his doctor, I was talking to his dad today, and his doctor told him 6 months, and I was telling his dad, like, I came back on a broken femur in 4 months and raced X Games, but when I was like, yeah, I was back in 4 months, but then I thought about it, I'm like, wait, my doctor actually cleared me to go race X Games, but then he made me take another month off. So he was like, hey, you got enough healing to go squeak in this event, because I know how it is in your industry. You guys got to keep you got contracts, you got to do what you got to do, but as soon as that event's over, you need to take off another month. And he's like, and don't crash at that event. So I did. I rode at 4 months, went to X Games, competed, and came home, took off another month, and then I was back full time. So really it was like a 4 month, one little weekend window, and then a 5 month total for me. His doctor's telling him 6 months, which it might be smart, but I said, hey, just play it by ear. Go see what the doc says at 4 months, and then see what he says at 5 months. You might be back sooner than you think. So anyway, much love for Maddox and the wrestler family. Good peeps right there. But other than that, this week, what else we done? We did the fireplace. We had the Supercross, dude. Another race, man. We got 1 race left. And hey, we got to give a shout out to Shimoda, because Shimoda killed it, dude. He pretty much led the whole race and won the race. And this is why I want to give him some love. First ever 250 career win. That's huge. And another thing, I love stories, and I love people that go after their dreams. The dude's from Japan, came over here to America with the fastest riders in the world, and he just won his first race. And I remember, obviously, I got to connect with the Japanese people because Taka lived with me for years. But anyway, I can remember maybe 8 years ago, maybe even longer. I got a photo, and it's a long time ago. Shimoda's in the photo. The dude's a little kid. And I remember he came out to my house because obviously he came over to see Taka, pay respect. You got to remember, Taka is a legend in Japan. Like, Japan's a small country. The moto scene's really small over there. So guys like Taka, Ego Sato, they're legends over there, dude. Those guys came to America and became champions. So everyone that's in the moto industry loves and knows Taka. So when the Japanese riders come to America, they come over and pay respect. So Taka, they came by to show love and respect to Taka. He was living with me at that time. And anyway, I got to meet him. And I remember Taka telling me, he said, that little dude right there, he's like, he's an amateur kid, but he's like, he's fast, dude. He's like, he's really good. And fast forward 8-9 years down the road, here we are, you know, sitting in my living room last night watching the dude win his first 250 race. So it's pretty cool to like think back, like, man, I remember when he came to my house and he seriously was a kid. Like, he looked maybe 12 in the photo, or when I met him, you know, and now he's out there killing it. So much love and big shout out for him getting his first win. And I hope he, you know, that just boosts his confidence and you just see him up there, because that's cool. Pretty cool. And as far as 450 goes, dang, you know how I'm feeling about the 450. 2 weeks in a row, I feel like Roxon should have won, and it would have been a whole different scenario going into this last round. But obviously, 2 small mistakes outside of his character. And but hey, cost him big. But I feel like he's keeping a good attitude. You know, if you guys watch the races, heard his interview. Hey, it is what it is. Mistakes happen, and he's gonna go down out the next weekend. I mean, you know, what are you gonna do at this point? I feel like Cooper's. I mean, dude's a beast at the end of the day. So he's looking pretty solid. But anything can happen. This is moto, man. I mean, you never know what's gonna happen. But I think my big shout out for the 450 class is my homie Stewart. So we're giving some love to Malcolm Stewart because I believe that was his first podium of the season. And Stewart's super cool. I got a chance to go to Switzerland with him a few years back. And we had a good time. We hung out a ton there, and it was just fun. So he's just a good dude. So I was just happy to see him up on the podium. So big shout out to Malcolm Stewart. And yeah, man. So we'll see what happens at this last round. And it's looking like the 250 class it wasn't wrapped up. It looked like it could have been sealed the deal last week, but the way it went down, it's going to come down to the last event. So, hey, keep it fun and exciting. So, anyways, good times watching the races. Like I said, we had a good week, and we're looking forward to this weekend, getting in some good training, good weather. And actually, today was warm. It felt like summer today in the Midwest. It was like 85. So it was windy as heck, but it was nice and warm, which I was enjoying. So, yeah, man, looking forward to this weekend, though. So let's dive right into the questions and see what's going down. So, hey, man, if you're new here, we do this every Monday night, live Q&A. We hang out, we talk moto, talk training, talk bike setup, whatever. I try to just... You guys jump on here, ask some questions, try to give some good advice, man, and give some good feedback, help people out. But we have people here week after week. So to me, it's this is our little moto online family here. And actually, I know a lot of these guys now. I've met a lot of these dudes either at the track or just but mostly at the track. Your moto dudes. I met most of you at the track, or if you guys come to my classes. But yeah, it's become a cool little. Group of people. We hang out week after week, and a lot. You know, we've got Warner on here, big fights. People from Warner's been my best friend since I was little. I've known this dude since I was in 4th grade. So it's cool to see people jumping on here, hanging out week after week. Mel's always hanging out, doing her thing. We got Danny B here, my homie from out in Cali. But anyway, good time. So if you're new here, check it out. See the big question marks? We'll put Liam up here for a second. This is how we do it. This is how I find your questions outside the comments, because people are on here. Everybody, like I said, people built relationships. People are friends in here. So they're in here chopping it up, talking. And so the only way I can find your question outside of the people's conversation is to throw up the question. So if you got a question, throw up the question mark so I don't skip you. And if I skip you, throw it back up, because I try not to do that. I try to scroll to the top and just cruise on through and try to bang this out. We'll be done by 8, try to hang out for about an hour, and not go too into detail, but I like the details. Long time. I answer questions long sometimes. I'll give you long answers, but that's how I roll. All right, let's dive in there. Why does Ken keep throwing? Wait, let's see. Let's get. It says, why does Ken keep throwing win after win? Anyways, why? Oh, why does he keep throwing? Why does he keep messing up in another championship? I don't know, dude. Because, dude, he don't normally make mistakes. He's usually like the smoothest dude on the track. So you got to start wondering, like, man, like, is the pressure getting to him? Is when he gets out front and he knows, like, he has to win in order to, like, make this, have any chance that he's, like, dude, we all know, like, it's easy to get out front and let your mind wander. And as soon as your mind wanders and it's not focused on what you're doing, you're going to make mistakes. So he could easily if his mind starts wandering, he starts thinking about the championship, thinking about he has to win, put a little extra pressure on himself, not focus on exactly because his mistakes, well, I feel like this week was pretty basic mistakes. His front end just kind of pushed in the berm. But last weekend's mistake could have been dirty. I think he got off pretty easy for that swap in the whoops. So I won't say they were super basic mistakes, but at the end of the day, definitely outside of his character. Why he's making them, man, I don't know. I wish he would have won both races, and we would have been going into this last weekend with a really tight championship. It would have been really exciting, but it's all good. Hey, the best of the best make mistakes. It is what it is. Our sport's gnarly. Let's be honest. We got a gnarly sport, and you ain't focused 100% all the time. Like, things happen quick, and you slide out, lose the front end, swapping the whoops, and next thing you know, you're on your back. So, man. But hey, here's the deal. It's all good. At least the dude, like, he had 2 crashes. They were minor. He's still riding, like, right? It could have went way worse. Could have crashed and got hurt. So at least he's healthy. So we'll take that. All right, so let's get Chris up here. It says, what? Oh, sorry. He's just saying what up. I saw the question mark, so I thought he's just saying what up to everybody. Big Fight say working on late on the fireplace. Yep. All right, let's get right here. We got Anthony P. He says, hey, do you remember the first time you ever made money, either racing or FMX? When would you say your pro career started? Hey, that's a cool question. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I ever made money in racing, dude, to be honest with you. Even if I would have raced some local expert race, by the time I paid to get there and my entry fee, whatever I made back probably didn't really cover my cost. So I honestly didn't. The first time I made money, I'm trying to think, was the Warped Tour. Because here's what I moved to California in 1997. So my racing career, obviously, raced from when I was 9 all the way up to 1997. Do the math. Probably pretty close to 15, 20 years or 15 years or so. Maybe, I don't know. Long time. A lot of amateur stuff, a little bit of expert stuff, but I was a struggling privateer. And then when I moved to California in 1997, the first gig, if you want to call it, that I got to go on was the Vans Warped Tour, which was the first time freestyle motocross went around America. And I made money on that tour. Everything was covered. I basically got to show. I basically was on a bus. It was sweet. I was on a bus. We went on the tour it was a 2-month tour, 8 weeks. We were in a different city almost every night. I got paid a weekly salary, plus I got paid a per diem, which is food money. And they had catering. So I also broke back then. I saved all my food money and ate the catering. But anyway, that was the first time I made any money. Because I remember I saved all my money, and I was on this old Suzuki 250. It was a 1997 250 or RM250, and I saved all my money on the tour. Came off that tour, and I bought a brand new Honda, and I picked up some sponsors on that tour. So that tour really changed everything. And then the first ever contest that I made money at was in it was 1997. I moved there. 1998 was the Warped Tour. And that was during the summer months. The very first contest was in Las Vegas, and I made money there. And I remember getting my purse money. I didn't even do that good. I finished like top 10. Like I didn't like podium or nothing. Wasn't even in the top 5. And I remember looking at my money, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like I was like blown away, like how much I just made to go do some tricks. And I was like, it's on now. Like, I'm not racing no more. I'm learning tricks. And I just got focused. And I feel like all of us did, because everyone realized there was a window of opportunity to where we were able to start making money a different way other than racing. So big shout out to Kevin Lyman on the Warped Tour and Mike Metzger, because I did get his spot when he got hurt, and it changed everything for me. And even the people that picked me up on that tour, I picked up DVF shoes, Flesh Gear, and Black Flies eyewear. So if it weren't like, dude, you got to remember the people that helped you along the way. And I don't forget. So they were the beginning of the beginning. They only paid me a couple $100 a month, but hey, that felt really good. Because I used to do construction. When I moved to California, I used to dig cement footings for pools. I worked for Metzger's dad. That was my job. And I only made $300 a week cash. So a lot of hard work in that hot California sun, working all week, 8-hour days for $300. And then I went on the Warped Tour, and in my opinion, felt like I made bank. So good times, man. All right, we got Liam here. He says, I have a tough decision to make. Can you check your DMs from me? I'll DM you tonight. I want your opinion on your thoughts about something. Can you check? Yes, sir. Check. And hey, send them to me. So don't send them to Ronnie and Mel. Send them to Ronnie Faisst. So I'll find it. So definitely DM me and I will look 100%. I was looking at Big Bird's comment, Fixer Upper. Warner stuff. Yeah, everyone's talking crap because it's locking up on me. I'm way back. I don't know why it does that, dude. Whatever, dude. We got the best stuff. It just sucks, I guess. Cleveland revamped my entire house inside and out, paint, etc. Got ready to sell time and move back up north. See, Howard's on the program. Hey, it's a really good time to sell right now, dude. If you can find a deal to buy, dude, you could sell. See, that's the thing. You want to sell high, buy in low. And it's a great time to sell. So we've kicked it around. We've kicked the idea around. Last night I couldn't sleep. I told you guys I have trouble sleeping. Well, guess what I was looking at in the middle of the night? Chevy 350s and fifth wheels. Because I'm like, dude, I'll go, let's sell now and just drive around the country and do motocross schools for the next 12 months. But here's the deal. I don't know if the market's going to crash. Like, is it going to really be down in 2 months? Or 12 months? Are you going to get to the 12 months? And that thing kept climbing like it did. Like, I thought I was getting out 3 years ago when I sold in California. Here we are 3 years later, and it's done nothing but going up. So I'm like, shoot, you just don't know. It's a little bit of a risk. But I think we're closer now than ever. Like, what goes up goes down. So it's got to come down at some point. So we'll see. We got Zandon in here. What's up, brother? My man. Yo, little shout out to Xanon. Was out at the Green Valley class with us. And hey, we got a spot open, bro. If you guys ain't got no plans for the weekend, let Pops know. Your Pops text me and said keep you guys posted on classes coming up. So we got one at Adrenaline. Sweet track. Sunny weather. Lots of ruts, dude. Let's go rip it. Tell Pops. Bring out that sweet little truck and trailer he has. Pops got a nice setup, dude. He was dialed in last week. I was checking out his setup. Looking good, dude. Yeah. Xanding's got the sweet setup. He had the 110. Yo, funny story. He took off during lunch. This is how much I know this dude loves to ride. We ride for 5 hours of class. We don't play around. We get out there, and my lunch breaks are short. So forgive me if I'm like real short on lunch. I've always feel bad afterwards. I'm like, I probably should have waited a little bit longer and let everybody chill. And I'm always like, hey, I'm gonna meet you over in the whoops. We always take a lunch break, and first thing we start with are usually the rollers, second half of the day. But Xandon took off like this. We rode all morning, and then we took a lunch break, and he didn't even stop. He got done riding all morning. I don't even know if you ate, bro. Like, you just came in and jumped on your 110 and went mobbing out. And next thing you know, he rolled back, and he was covered in dirt. I'm like, yo, what'd you do, crash? That was pretty funny. But at least you didn't get hurt. Like, you could be crashing out on the 110, take yourself out, miss the second half of the class. But he came back just filthy. I'm like, you crashed, no? But anyway, let Pops know, dude. We got a spot if you want to come out. Be stoked to have you back out. Oh, we got Adam here with a little super chat love. He says, here's a hundo. Why? Because God says I can. V-Dubs? Hey, much love to Adam. So if you guys, the V-Dubs is another one of the homies to come on here. And he hasn't been here super consistent lately. Just his mom's been sick, and he's been spending time with his mom and stuff. But him and Adam are always trying to one-up each other. So pretty funny. But V-Dubs actually hit me up. He stays in touch with me all the time. I told you guys, he bought my bike. And we're going to meet out at because V-Dub's from Texas. V-Dub's from Texas. I live in Kansas. There's a motocross school going on, FCA motocross camp in June. And you guys are interested, man. It's a great camp. You're going to have it's a week-long camp. V-Dub, I believe, is signing up for the camp. I'm bringing his bike down there. So we're going to meet in Oklahoma, and I'm going to bring the bike, and we're going to hang out for a week and ride moto and get into the Bible. It's a Christian motocross camp. So anyway, this thing's jiggling. Mel put me on this shaky table. She's like, don't move. I'm like, I'm going to move. All right, we get DK here. He said, what happened to the end of the speed and style race at X Games between you and Twitch? This is a good question here. So this is what happened. So I can't remember if it was 2011, 2012. But anyway, me and Twitch went head-to-head at X Games Stable Center. And I believe I pulled the whole shot. Twitch slid out on the wood. They had this wood bankment. He slid out first lap, fell down. I got like a huge lead on him. And then I went into the whoops and I stalled. And idiot, lesson learned. Put your bike in. If you can't start you pull in the clutch and your bike won't start after the second, third kick, put it in neutral. Don't keep kicking it. Put it in neutral and then kick it. I kept trying to kick it, and rather than put it in neutral, kick, it wouldn't start. And I heard the crowd just getting louder and louder, so I knew Twitch was coming. I'm like, oh no. So sure enough, I never started my bike. Twitch passed me back for the lead, but what happened was X Games got confused, and they gave Twitch the checkered flag when they should have gave him the white flag. And then he ghost rode his bike. So two mistakes he made. Two mistakes happened, but one was X Games' mistake. They shorted me a lap, or both of us a lap. So it really wasn't fair. I didn't have enough time to come back. And Twitch actually the rule is in X Games, you have to cross the finish line on your bike. You can't ghost ride your bike through the finish line. You have to be on it to consider the complete race. So when he ghost rode his bike, X Games was like, you have to ride your bike across the finish line. So Deegan come running down and would like told Twitch. I was kind of like, oh, whatever. I blew it. I stalled in the whoops. I didn't know they shorted me a lap. I didn't even catch on yet. I was just saw the checkered flag and thought I blew it. I blew that race, had it won, and stalled in the whoops and lost. And Deegan comes running down and he's like, dude, you guys need to cross the finish line. You never cross. So as soon as I heard that, like I pushed Twitch and like try to beat him to the finish line because I'm like, hey, maybe I can still win. And but anyway, the way it worked, because X Games knew they messed up, they called it a draw because they were like, never necessarily Twitch wasn't the complete winner because he didn't cross the finish line on his bike, and because they shorted me a lap, they were like, well, it really wasn't fair. If I should have had one more lap, he maybe could have caught Twitch. So they called it a draw, and we both got gold medals. We both got bronze medals, which we were both stoked with because guess what? We get bonuses from that. So we were both laughing that we both got medals because, dude, we were like best friends. Like one of us, in a normal situation, one of us would have got a medal and the other one wouldn't have. One of us would have got bonus and the other one wouldn't have. But in that situation, we both got medals and we both got bonuses. So we high-fived and laughed about it, and it was a fun race and good times. So pretty sweet. Probably one of the, like, of all the X Games things that happened, other than 360 crashes, that's probably one of my most memorable X Game moments was the battle with Twitch. Fun. All right, so we got Brian here. It's a big shout out for Ronnie. If you haven't attended this class, definitely. Hey, the little Brian doing a little shout out. So I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, man. So Brian's been to how many classes now? This will be his third class, I believe. So Brian's been to 3, right? Am I right about that? And same thing with Jacob. Jacob's been to 3 now. Yeah, twice this year. Yeah. So pretty cool. Stoked to have returning students all the time. It's good. It's good, man. Get to see the improvements. And hey, stoked for the pictures you guys are posting. I'm seeing the improvements. Hope you guys see them too, just with your guys' body position and style. Just looking pro in those photos. So keep posting those up. Look good. Let's see. We got Ace here. He says, I don't know if you remember when I told you about my leg on my dirt bike crash. It's been getting better. I ride BMX, but I don't know about dirt bikes. Any advice for me about getting back on the bike? All right, so Ace here obviously is crashed and on his dirt bike and maybe has broken his leg. He rides BMX but hasn't made it back to riding dirt bikes again, and he's looking for some advice about maybe getting back on the bike. I mean, here's the deal with crashing. Anytime, I mean, it's going to happen. Like, there's no way around. I don't know one person. I really don't. If I try to think of any rider, then I can't think of anyone who I don't know who hasn't had some type of injury on it. So it's common. It's normal. It's part of the sport. It's one of those things that you just have to know and accept. Like, if it hasn't happened, it's probably going to happen at some point. And when it does, you just have to take your time off, you heal. But the only way to kind of get over the fear of and the nervousness is really to get back out there. In my experience, I've obviously broken multiple things. I've been off the bike for months at a time and then had to come back and experience that type of loss of confidence, feeling a little nervous, a little bit hesitant. And the only way I was able to overcome all that was just riding through it. I'd had to get back out there. And as I spent more time on my bike riding, the nervousness and the fear kind of like went away and the confidence came back when it was overridden. So I would just say take it slow, dude. If it's been a while and you haven't been on your bike, dude, you don't got to go set the world on fire. Just go out there and cruise around. Get on the bike and just cruise, dude. Go have fun. I'm sure you started riding because it was fun. That's the whole reason most of us ride, because it's fun. So go have fun. Just cruise around. Don't do nothing crazy. You don't have to go send no doubles or jumps or do anything outside your comfort zone. Just go ride and enjoy being back on the bike. And you do that little by little, the confidence will start to overcome the fear. So seat time, brother. All right, so did you ride? So we got Liam here. So did you ride the first X Games? So actually, 1999 would have been the very first X Games. I actually was on the Warped Tour, so I did not. So I rode the first Gravity Games, which was the first year, but I missed the very first X Games, and then rode every single one from 2000 on. So I was on the Warped Tour actually during the first X Games, and I was obviously invitational, and they invited a handful of people. Did not get that one, but all good. Was there the very next year and never missed an X Games unless I crashed myself out. Made every one, minus taking myself out. And most of the time I took myself out at X Games. I don't believe I missed one because I was hurt before. I'd usually go to X Games and crash out. How many times did I crash out at X Games? I know I crashed out 2006, 2007, crashed out on 360. And then there was the year I tried to flip the 75 ramp for the first time. It's in the No Fear video. I was talking about that on another live. I crashed out of that one in practice. So I remember crashing out of 3. Hey, but 3 from 2000 to my very last X Games. My last speed and style was 2014, and then that's 14 years of X Games, and I don't believe I basically made it to all of them. And the very last one I rode, I believe, was 2016, was the snowcross. And I think that was my last ever X Games event. All right. Anthony P. here, he says, hey, Neil, anywhere in New England I can use, what is that? Good landing for my ramp. I'm in an RI. What is this? Someone's going to clown me again because sometimes I don't understand what people. I can use DO or S. What is that supposed to represent? Someone help me. Good landings for my ram. And he's asking Warner, hook him up. He said Anthony X Feisst. I just looked down and commented. I don't know what he's asking. Can I use good landings for my ramp in Rhode Island? I need to know the question better because I'm misunderstanding. I don't know what this word is. And it's probably something simple, but sometimes I can't figure it out. All right. I've been spending a ton of money on dirt trying to get a big enough landing. So we got Anthony P here. Anthony, yeah, get a big landing, dude. Definitely want some big landing for freestyle. I'm just laughing at Zandon here because he's basically said I ate some apples. So it's probably why he crashed. Too many apples, dude. Big fights cover Rams, Cali, and Jersey. Yeah, so someone clarify. I want to answer the ramp question. So someone needs to clarify the question a little better for me so I can make sure I jump back and get that free. Because I love freestyle questions, so I appreciate the question. I just want to make sure I give you the right answer. We got Anthony P again. How did they make Deegan's tank for the Krusty Tours? How did they make Deegan's tank? The Deegan tank, like the little like. My first thought was his gas tank. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? But yeah, he had the Metal Militia tank. Dude, to be honest with you, like they had like a whole, man, I don't know. I feel like they hired like a crew of I guess what would you call that? Like props. They had tons of props. So Deegan had a tank. He came out in the tank. Seth came out in the Harley. You guys remember I came out with the samurai suit and cut the head off of the dummy. We all had our little gigs, but it was cool. All right, Danny B here said new Paula vet track has a roller section. How should I get started and hitting on them? So great question. So Danny B's been to 2 classes now in California, and hey, we're kicking around the idea of being back out in California for a summer class. I think it may be July if we do go. So we're gonna have to examine this section together. But for starters, dude, I would just go in. Hey, just look at it like this. Like you always want to be a gear high in the rollers. So if you would normally run them in third, go up to fourth. Like I definitely don't be in second. I think you're Danny B. What are you on now? You got a 250F? You got a 250F, right? I would definitely be third or fourth in those bad boys, but always staying up in a gear high keeps the bike from if the bike's revving out, it's going to want to drive the suspension into all the bumps. So stay up in a gear high so it keeps the bike just tracking like low RPMs, not just And dude, good body position. Get back on the balls of feet. Make sure your arms are up and out. Heads is neutral, butt is back, hips out, however you want to call it. And nice little, give a good grip. If you're in the rollers, I always say, like, I don't death grip my bike when I ride the track, but when I go through the rollers, I definitely tighten up. So tighten up with your legs. Get some good control with those strong legs of yours. And try it for beginners. Like, first go through just just roll them, dude. And then when you feel a little bit comfortable, go to the next level and try to wheelie into instead of setting the front wheel down into the hole, try to loft the front wheel over the hole. So you kind of go, or the belly. So you're kind of wheeling into the face of each one. And if that starts to get comfortable, see if you can double and start going 2, 2, 2. If I haven't seen these wolves, so I have no idea what you're able to do through them, but maybe you can go 2, 2, 2. Maybe you can even get in the 3, but that's kind of how I would attempt them. Just knowing where you're at, I would just come into them cruising and then slowly start to try to pick up momentum and carry the front end up over each hole. But good body position is key in the rollers. I mean, if you look at the dudes in the stadium whoops, watch their body position has to be on point to handle those whoops, and rollers are no different. You want good form. So focus on your technique and your body position, and then build your confidence by just working up, and then let your speed come. But technique is where you want to focus on. All right. Let's get Ace here. He says, one of my good friends, his dad is friends with D. Loke from Cotton Mask Gang. So I know D. Loke, so tell him I said what up. D. Loke's super cool. Been friends with that dude for years. All right, so we got Ace again. He said he's making a new brand. Did you know? No, I haven't heard. So good shout out for the new brand. So we got Chris here. He said, did you see Twitch's last video he posted at Axel's Land? Absolutely not. Man, I haven't seen it, so I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. I seen it pop up on my feed. I just didn't watch it. But I definitely, Axel's place is gnarly. We'll give a big shout out to Axel. In my opinion, one of the sickest dudes in the game, and he has one of the gnarliest freestyle parks ever. I've been in the game for a long time, and I've seen parks. He's got one of the gnarliest ones ever. His park is gnarly. So he's sick though. He's got skills. So definitely got to check that out. All right, so yes, he did. So Matt says, did you ever keep any of your old bikes? And I haven't, dude, and I regret it. Super bummed that I haven't sold them all. Dumb move. There's one at Escondido Cycle Center. It's my 2016, or no, it's a 2006 Honda CR250. It's my first X Games bike, and if I ever move out of this house and get a shop and have some room, because I ain't got no room in my garage for it right now, I might try to buy it back. I don't know if they'll sell it to me, but I'm gonna at least try. Because it's the only one. I know there's another one in Canada, because the dude still is in contact with me. So here we go. We got mixed tips. He says tips on cornering. So here, the good question. Tips on cornering. Hey, don't sit too far forward. I always see guys trying to put their get up way too far on the gas tank. You get on the gas tank, great traction to the front end, but you don't need to be up there because you lighten the rear end too much. You need traction to both wheels. So stay neutral on the bike. Obviously, you can't be too far back, but there's a part of the seat, I like to call it the sweet spot, this pocket. And get in that sweet spot. It's kind of like if you were to do a hole shot where your butt lands on the seat. So if you were to drop your legs down, they should land right in front of the foot pegs. That's kind of where you want to sit on the seat in a corner. It's not too far forward, it's not too far back. Leg tight to the bike, head forward. But the key in coring is carrying momentum. Whatever you create down the straightaway, you want to keep in the corner. So you got to be smooth. You can't get overly aggressive too fast. A lot of guys want to come in and just drop the clutch. And get too aggressive too fast, and then they just break the rear wheel, slide out, cause a mistake, then they got to correct the mistake. So be smooth. Remember, smooth is fast. So I don't know what bike you're riding, but if you're on a 250F or a 450, dude, try rolling the gas on. Use less clutch. Use low RPMs. Start slow. And by the time you get 3/4 to the last apex of the corner, be rolling into aggressive power. Another thing, try not dabbing your foot. I know see that a lot of times. Dabbing the foot pulls guys off balance. So focus on not letting your foot hit. Focus on being smooth on the throttle. And if you're on a two-stroke, you got to use the clutch. Same thing. Think of every corner as a start. Smooth. One clutch release. None of this. Don't be fanning it through the corner. Be smooth. So whether you're using the clutch, I try to use less clutch on my 450, but on a two-stroke, if you're on a 125 or if you're on 80, you're kind of forced to have to use the clutch because the bike likes to fall on its face without the clutch. But you got to smooth with the clutch. I see guys try to hold it wide open and they just fan the heck out of the clutch, and they wonder why they got to put clutches in their bikes. Big Faisst knows. How many clutches did we go through when I was on 80s? Get rid of that, dude. One feed. Feed the throttle. Smooth is fast. So try to be smooth with it. But it's all, dude, moto's all about body position, man. You got to be in the right body position. And I always say, hey, put a little pressure to the outside peg, too. Like, that's not just a technique for flat turns. Like, that works in ruts. It's like a little bit of pressure can help plant the bike. So you always put a little pressure to the outside peg, being smooth, and then keeping that form, arms up and out, head forward. Sitting in the sweet spot of the seat, leg up high and tight. Try to keep it from dagging and pulling you off balance. All righty. It's buffering like crazy. I don't know why it's buffering. I'm just seeing people say this. I don't know why. Weak. Should not be buffering. All right, let's get Liam. I think Adam's talking about... He's talking about governor. Governor? Bryce. Yeah, he's running for governor. See? Well, good. You need to get a new governor in California. All right, so hey, Faisst, what do you think freestyle riders should get more credit in video games? Yeah, why not? Show some love for the freestyle guys. I mean, I feel like a lot of the video games these days are probably race video games. That's why you're going to see mostly racers in those videos. But, hey, they probably should have a new updated freestyle game because there probably hasn't been a freestyle game in a long time. But I'm sure you would see more of those guys in that. I feel like the reason why you're probably not seeing them is because it's probably more race-based. So to kind of be funny to throw, people would be like, isn't he a freestyle guy? throw whoever in the mix next to Roxon. They'll be like, hey, Taka. Throw Taka next to Roxon. But hey, at the end of the day, dude, they're all got skills. So you can't hate on them. All right, so mixed tips on speed. This is what I like to say. Here's what you know what my coach told me? He said, why don't you slow down and learn how to go faster? That's seriously my coach told me, and that stuck with me for years. And I've used that. I've said that at classes. So here's the deal. If you're only worried about, everyone wants to go fast. I get it. You want to go fast. That's probably a lot of, I don't say that's the only reason people sign up for my class. I think, honestly, I would say a lot of people sign up for my class because they want to get smoother and safer. And overall, they want to be fast. But at the end of the day, anyone racing, they want to get fast. But if you only focus on getting fast and you never focus on your technique, you'll only improve your bad habits. And if you got bad habits, you're going to make mistakes. And the more mistakes you make, the more crashes you have. More crashes you have, more chances of injury. The more chances of injury, more chances of setbacks and loss of confidence. So what we want to do is, if you want to get fast, dude, focus on being develop a good solid foundation, get good riding technique, good throttle, clutch control, braking, body. It all comes down to fundamentals. The best people in the world are the masters of basics in any sports, and you never get too good to practice fundamentals. Have a goal. I always see moto dudes just go out and ride laps. And I think amateurs get this because pros do it. And the reason pros do it is, well, dude, think about it. The pro's way ahead of the amateur. The pro has already been the motocross school. He's already developed his foundation. He can focus on his endurance and speed. So the pros are out just pounding out laps, trying to work on their endurance, get their bike set up. And then amateurs are looking at the pros going, oh, they just pound laps, so let's go pound some laps. So then they do that, not realizing like if you're doing things wrong, you're just going to improve your bad habits. As amateurs, as beginners, as novices, you need to have a focused practice. You need to go into your practice with, what are we working on today? Let's not just go out to the practice track and just try to do a 5-lap moto with our arms down, with bad throttle control, bad braking, everything just not smooth and out of control, and improve our bad habits. No. Slow down for a second. Let's look at ourselves. Let's be honest with ourselves. Get someone to film you. Start looking at yourself. Start comparing yourself, your body position to Roxanne's body. Where are you off? Like if my best advice for people is go get coaching. The best riders in the world have coaches. Every athlete, every sport, every team, they have coaches. So find someone that can watch you and pick out the areas where you're off, and then correct you. And now you know. Now you can go into the practice day with an agenda. What are we doing today? What am I working on? Do my starts suck? Okay, let's work on my starts. Am I struggling in the ruts? Okay, we got to focus on the ruts. Like, why do my ruts suck? Like, what is causing me? Oh, it's my foot. I drag my foot in every corner and it pulls me off balance. Okay, well, that means I got to go in every corner and start focusing on getting my foot up quicker and quicker. And a technique I like to teach my guys on ruts is, don't sit down and then put your foot up once you've already let your butt hit the seat. In a deep rut, make it one motion. So when you go to sit, as soon as that butt hits the seat, the leg is up. So make it one motion. You go from braking, sit, leg, pow. Bow. Don't go sit, try to drag the leg, because when you're leaning over and the rut's really deep, that gap between the handlebar and the rut gets smaller and smaller. So you have a bigger chance of catching your foot. So with all that said, look for building good technique, good riding habits. Focus on that. Your speed will come naturally. Like that's what I'm saying. Like because here's the deal. If you're just always pinning it, you're not necessarily thinking. You're just wide open guy. But if you try to make changes, you have to actually think about what you're doing. So now that's what my coach told me. Hey, you're going to have to slow down for a second. Stop trying to go fast. Think about what you're doing. Slow down. Now let's think. Okay, where are you at on the pegs? Are you back on the balls of your feet? Are you getting knee movement, ankle movement? Where's your butt? Where's your arms? Where's your head? Like, are you rolling it? Are you stabbing it? Are you pecking it? What are you doing? So in order to start thinking about all these things, you kind of have to slow down, and you have to start focusing. And now you start get into that one thing. Okay, hey, we're gonna do 2 laps. All we're gonna do is focus on smooth clutch or throttle, every corner, and then do that. Move maybe the next 2 laps. Move back to being on the balls of feet. Whatever your issue is, I feel like that's why you need someone to watch you. And if someone can't watch you and point out your mistakes, you need someone to film you, so then you can self-coach yourself and you can look at yourself, and then you can see like, hey man, I ride with my elbows tucked. I need to get my elbows up and out, and then make those adjustments. And if you focus on developing good habits, good riding techniques, being smooth, sooner or later, you will be way smoother and faster than you ever were, and you'll be making less mistakes. So that's how I would approach trying to get faster, is building good practice habits and good technique. Speed comes. Speed will come naturally. All right. What is your favorite memory of Twitch and Scummy and Seth Enslow? All right, so favorite memory of Twitch and Scummy. That's a good question. And Seth Enslow. Well, let me see. So Twitch and Scummy, I mean, obviously those dudes were really close for a while, and they had their video out, so they had a pretty funny video together. But man, that's a hard one to say. Funny, the favorite memory of Twitch. I mean, we just talked about the X Games one. I mean, that is one of my greatest memories of me and Twitch. But of Twitch and Scummy together, I just think probably just watching those two goof off all the time. They're just goofy dudes. Pretty funny. But Enslow, me and Enslow were roommates. Obviously, I was Twitch with my roommate too. Twitch with me for a little while. But me and Enslow were roommates. We actually lived in Carrie Hart's house. Hart bought a house in California and then decided he didn't like Cali and wanted to move back to Vegas. So me and Enslow rented it from him. Seth's super cool. I think one of the coolest memories I have of Seth is, I mean, it sucks that he got hurt, but I got to fill in for him. I mean, if you guys remember, he blew his forehead apart at Sinkbar's house. And we were roommates at the time, and he had a contract to go do all these long jumps. And he was like, yo, he's like, can you fill in for me so basically I don't lose this deal? He's like, you know, I'm going to be out for this amount of time, but can you be my basically stunt double until I can get back? And then once I get back, I'm jumping in. I just don't want to lose the deal, basically. So I filled in for him. So it was this cool memory because that's not necessarily what I do. I was jumping ramps, learning tricks. So to step in for Enslow and get to send these fourth gear wide open jumps, jump over cars and stuff and all this other stuff, it was pretty sick. So good memory of that. But overall, I actually just got to see Seth in Ackerman's memorial about a month or so ago down in California, and we always we're just tight. Me and Seth are tight. We got a lot of good memories together. So good dude, man. He's from the East Coast. Seth Rhodes I believe he's from New York. He's an East Coaster, but good hearted dude, and he's just one of those dudes that'll do anything for you. He's that type of guy. So a little shout out to Seth Rhodes. All right. So we got about 9 minutes here. Let's see. Take 10 years off the motor game. I was just reading some comment. Yep. Big Bird says, focus on the problems, Arian. Work on them. Dude, that's what I'm saying, dude. That's how you get better. You get better by knowing what your weakness is. Like, here's the deal. Like, when you know, like, hey, I'm like, speed and style, you know where I put my focus in speed and style? My starts and the whoops. Because I knew, like, if you can get the starts, the race is only 4 laps. So it's like, hey, you better be a good starter. Because if you don't get the start, it's way harder to win when you don't get the start in speed and style. You got to get the start. So that's what I'm saying. Focus on the starts. And then the whoops. Why? Because there was nowhere else to pass in that race unless you want to park the dude. So focus on the whoops. And I knew a lot of people didn't even have a place to practice whoops. I had a speed and style track in my backyard. So what did I do? I built a gnarly set of whoops, and I got busy out there. And to be honest with you, I wasn't comfortable in the whoops. So I realized, hey, I'm not that comfortable in the whoops. When I go into the whoops, I make mistakes. Well, what do I need to do? I need to build a set at my house, and I need to ride them every day so I'm comfortable. And that's exactly what I did. And when I showed up to speed and style every year, you know what I was excited to see? The whoops. And I got pissed off when the whoops were weak. I walk up and be like, dude, are you kidding me? Why they build the whoops so easy? I wanted the whoops gnarly because I knew like that was going to be my best place to like make a pass or pull from people. So I took an area that was a struggle for me and made it my strength. And that's what you got to do. No matter what, I remember I could look back on tricks that were so hard for me, and what did I do? I got focused on them. Big Feisst will tell you, I couldn't do a kiss of death to save my life. My kiss of death was like a no-footer it wasn't even a Superman. It was like a no-footer by the seat. That's all I could do, and I wanted to do it so bad, but I just sucked at it. I'm like, man, but what did I do? I just kept trying. Focus on it. I had someone film me, and I watched my progression little by little. I was able to master that trick, and that trick became one of my favorite tricks. I'm gonna be honest with you, it took me like 3 years to get it. It was a long haul, and not 3 years to where it was fully like. So it started like this, and it worked its way up. So it was a 3-year progress to get it to where it was. But it became one of my favorite tricks, one of my easiest tricks, and I could do it off of anything. So that's what I'm saying. Realize what's hard for you, put some focus there, make those weak areas your strong points. And it changes the game. It really is. And all it is be honest with yourself. Where are you struggling? Okay, let's go work on it. That's it. That's all you have to do. And I know it's tough out here where we live in the Midwest because it's basically private or mostly public tracks, and you basically get your little 5-lap little window. So it's not as convenient as a lot of like the pros back in California. We had our own spots, so we could go out first thing in the morning, spend as much time as we can, and focus on certain things. Here it's a little bit harder because you're like, man, I got 5 laps and I got to wait 40 minutes and get another 5 laps. So but still make that 5 laps count. What are you going to do in those 5 laps? What are you focusing on? So a little bit tougher. So the best option is if you have a private track. You got your own private track, man, you can get seriously focused and put in some work. And I'm telling you, that's how the best dudes in the world do it. I've been around them all and watched how they train, and that's how they do it. They focused practiced. And be honest with yourself. All right, so Mixed Tip is saying, what about Supercross whoops? So Supercross whoops, man, here's the deal. It's all about body position, and it's really similar to rollers in a sense. But here's the deal. Bring your head down a little bit. If you watch the dudes in Supercross, dude, arms up and out, butt back, hips back, balls at the feet, gripping with legs, hard with the legs in the Supercross whoops, head down low. Don't be riding up. Kind of like full attack position, head down towards the crossbar bad, but your head's going to be pretty neutral. Your head's not going to be back here like this. You don't need to be way over the bars. Head's going to stay pretty neutral. And the key to Supercross whoops is momentum coming in. It's so much harder to build momentum in the whoops. Carry momentum. The faster you come into the Supercross stadium whoops, the easier you are. But that's the scariest part. But that's why you got to practice, because you got to build that confidence. So the key is not to skip. Your front end has to hit every whoop. So it wants to go pop, 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 and you got to stay neutral. Balls to the feet. That way you're getting your knees and your ankles moving. Your butt's going to be back. So the taller guys got advantage because why? Because they can get their butt towards the back of the seat. Plus they can keep their head forward. It's a little bit easier for the taller guys. Up a gear, 4th gear. I've ran 4th gear in my whoops at my house. So don't even try 3rd. Go. I mean, I'm on a 450, so depending on what bike, but always up an extra gear in the stadium whoops. But all about getting into them fast. The faster you can get in them, the easier it is to get on top and skim them. The key is to skim them. You don't want to drop into them. But like I said, that's the scariest part, is building the confidence to skim them. So little inside tip of how I built my confidence, because I told you I built a set. So I was same thing. I was like, man, I want to come into these aggressive, but I'm a little nervous because if I drop my front end, I'm probably going to go over the bars. So I basically got on the edge and I'd come in and go pop, 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 and skip like 2 or 3 and jump out. And I just did that over and over again before I could stay in 5 or 6. And then I jumped out. And then I did it. Eventually I could stay in the whole time. So that's how I basically baby stepped my way in. I got on the edge, went 1, 2, 3, boom, dove out. That way it wasn't this big, long commitment of having the run in. Once I was comfortable skimming 3 or 4, I stayed in 5 or 6, and then eventually I ran my whole section. So that's how I did it. It might be a good little baby step for some of you guys to work on them. But yeah, they're fun. Here's the deal: the ones they build at the Supercross, the big boys ride, they're gnarly. But if you build, you could still build like a set. Like mine weren't that gnarly, but they weren't easy either. Mine were kind of in the middle. But once you master the ones in the middle, dude, they're so fun. It feels good to get on top. Like you might not even be going fast as Stewart through them, but you feel like you are and you feel good. You like come off, you're like, man, that felt good. Boy, I felt like James Stewart in there. All right, Anthony P. All right, I better hurry up. We're almost out of time. He said, anywhere in New England area, any area, I'm going to use big landing. Where can I take my ramp? It's costing me mad money to make a landing. Yeah, that's the thing. It's expensive to build a big landing. I get it. But here's the deal. Build the best thing you can. At the end of the day, you want to make it as safe as you can, and it does cost money. You got to rent a tractor. You got to get dirt. I get it. But bigger the better. I don't know anywhere you could just pull up a ramp in New England. That's the thing. Freestyle is really hard. It's a hard sport to get into. It's really hard. Why? Because where do you go practice? It's not like you got a local track. Freestyle park up the road like you got local tracks. Most local tracks don't have freestyle ramps, so it is tough. That's why it's really hard for people to find places to get into it. If you don't know a pro who has a setup, it's tough. Yeah. Howard says, watch Malcolm Stewart in the whoops. It's true. Watch the best dudes. But I'm telling you, if you watch the best dudes, I could pull up. I got pictures on my phone because I show them to my students at class. If you pull up all the top dudes in the whoop, their form and techniques all the same. They're all on the balls of the feet. Their butts back, hips back, heads forward, arms are up and out, and they're getting. Watch the guys' heads too in the whoops. So neutral. The bike's moving under them. Their heads really just da 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 da. Let your arms move. Here's the deal. Don't go like this, intense. You got to leave this relaxed. Let that move. Let the bike do what it's got to do. All right, so we got a little super chat from Anthony P. He says, thank you. Yeah, brother. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for the questions. All right. Man, it went by quick tonight. 8 p.m. already. But, hey, much love, man. Thank all you guys again for hanging out here on this Moto Monday night. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. If not, hey, give me the little thumbs up. Show some love. Helps YouTube let other people know that we're putting out helpful content. And if I missed your question, maybe throw it up, and I'll try to get back to it. Other than that, I'll see you guys next week. Hey, I'll see some of you boys this Saturday out at Adrenaline. And much love, and keep our boy Maddox in your prayers, and V-Dub's mom and everybody else. Thanks for hanging, man. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out. I can't see the thing. I can't see the end button. That stupid thing's in my way.